All right. Hey, welcome aboard. I'm gonna show you a little bit about playing the saxophone like a rock and roller. You know, a little rock and roll, R&B, funk, and some blues. And did a little shuffle there for you in the key of A on the saxophone, A on the tenor, concert G. I'm gonna have a focus of both tenor and alto on here. Lean a little more towards the tenor because it's such a incredible rock and roll horn and R&B, and it seems to be a pretty dominant voice. The alto has a great history too, especially in the last 40 years, thanks to guys like David Sanborn and preceding him, Earl Bostic back in the 40s, and just a lot of guys that were really great alto players, and they chose to make that their horn in the blues and R&B. And so let's get started. I approach most things from the way I've learned to hear these things and knowing what I know about chords and theory, and I just approach them and try to always keep it soulful. I want to start with, maybe if you're coming back to the saxophone from a school perspective, or you're coming from a pure jazz perspective, which a lot of these concepts I know you know, because to be a jazz player, you know a lot of these concepts. But what happens in my mind with a jazz player is that you just have to adapt that attitude. You know, it's all about attitude, and it's about, you know, finding the extreme simplistic animal, find your inner guitar player, and have a good time. Always just look for the things that'll make you and everybody else smile. You know, you're entertaining. You're selling a feeling, and you know, it's made the phone ring for me. So I can't say there's a damn thing wrong with it. So the most popular scale in all music is the pentatonic scale. 5 notes, and it's not always the same 5 notes, and there's different ways to look at it. I tend to say pentatonic, which could be major or minor. So let's start just in the key of A on the tenor, and we're going to play A pentatonic. It will be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and back to the tonic. So that'll be all major, the major scale, and we're dropping the 4th, drop the D, no G sharp, no 7, no major 7. So we'll just go straight into it. Now, if you take that, that's very useful over a lot of pretty, more poppy, folky, majory melodies. And that kind of stuff is, you can use your ear to figure out. I just picked from, I look at those 5 notes as a palette, and I don't really have to think about, depending on the chord changes that are happening underneath me, I really don't have to think about a lot because there's not a lot of bad choices in there. It's a very forgiving scale. And